Hey Gemini, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I am an intuitive astrologer, angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, and empowerment coach. And I'm here today with your February 2023 monthly horoscope. For the purposes of this video, it's based on whole sign Western astrology. So I'm talking about Gemini rising. I'm going to reference the houses. If you don't know your rising sign, you can go to any one of the free birth calculators on the internet. You just need your exact time of birth and your location to determine what your rising moon and other planets are. So these are based on your rising sign. So Gemini, let's jump right into February. February starts off with the moon making a trine to Jupiter at 6 degrees. The moon is in Leo in your 3rd house, and Jupiter is in Aries in your 11th house. This is a very favorable aspect, meaning a trine is. The moon is very intuitive. It's your feeling energy, your emotional body, your nurturing energy, your self-care. And Jupiter is about wealth and expansion and bringing good luck and bounty to you. So having this harmonious aspect gives you an opportunity to really look at these social houses. Leo, the 3rd house of my neighborhoods, my communities, my workmates, my teammates, my schoolmates. The 3rd house represents all of our everyday activities for the most part. And here we see the sign of Leo, which is a very creative sign. It's a sign of enjoyment, entertainment, of hobbies, of children, of self-expression, your personal self-expression. And now this is making a harmonious aspect to your 11th house Aries, which represents the World Wide Web. It represents large networks and platforms, social platforms. So it's a great day to take advantage of that energy. On the same day, February 4th, we will see Venus at 10 degrees Pisces in your 10th house, making a square to Mars at 11 degrees in your 1st house of Gemini. This for me indicates sort of an opportunity for you to be aware of some of the evolutionary changes that you have been implementing or shifting into since Mars has been traversing your 1st house. Venus represents creativity in the sense of like our possessions. She represents the voice, singing voice. She represents like interior designers, the possessions within our home, the things we love, beauty, makeup, jewelry, our creativity. She represents our self-worth. She represents, here in Pisces, she's in the sign that is most comfortable to her. She's at her best friend's house. And while she's making a square to your 1st house, Gemini, I believe that that square to Mars is giving you an opportunity to assess sort of a version of yourself that maybe is more visible to the public. And then how you feel about yourself on the inside, meaning the 1st house. So here you have this, I always think of a square as sort of this juncture where I am aware of my pattern behaviors, and then I'm also trying to implement more evolved behaviors. And every once in a while, I find myself in conflict between the two. My natural habitual behavior, my reactions versus my concentrated intentional thought. So I think between the idea that Venus is at the 10th degree in your 10th house, Mars is at the 11th degree in your 1st house, now we're seeing a series of ones happening here. Gemini rules the twins. It rules thinking, speaking, writing, teaching. So overall, I think this is an opportunity for you to sort of take a step back and really take an inventory of all the things that you have implemented and all the shifting and all the structures that you have intentionally become aware of, so that you can be more gentle with yourself during this sort of challenging dynamic between who you want to be and who you are striving for versus some of those historic patterns. On that same day, February 4th, we will see Uranus at 15 degrees Taurus in your 12th house, making an exact square to the sun at 15 degrees Aquarius in your 9th house. This aspect of Uranus liberating me, giving me epiphanies. It's like this lightning strikes and I suddenly have this awareness. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, which is your ruling planet. So it's very much a planet that thinks outside the box, that stretches beyond the human experience. So here it is at the 15th degree, which is also the Geminian degree. I feel as if this is giving you an opportunity to choose Uranus, who and what you want to be, and the sun, how people perceive you, how they see you. The 9th house represents our beliefs. It represents the connection to the angelic realm. The 9th house by nature are the big questions. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? It's very focused on higher education, diverse experiences, multicultural experiences. And I think the combination of the moon trine Jupiter, Venus squaring Mars, and Uranus squaring the sun on this day is giving you an opportunity to really reflect and decipher between patterned reactions and intentional, thoughtful actions. I feel as if there's an opportunity to liberate yourself. Taurus and Aquarius are both fixed signs. And while Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius, while it's been naturally traversing Taurus, it's been liberating some of those fixed energies that are stuck in a pattern. So this is a really powerful day and a powerful time to set intentions. On the 5th, we'll have a full moon in Leo. I'll be doing a separate video on that, as there is a pattern to the full moons. There will be a total of 7 of them that are all at the 16th degree. So this is really important in the way of seeing a theme moving forward. On the 9th, we will see Mercury at 28 degrees in Capricorn, your 8th house, making an exact conjunction to Pluto. Your ruling planet is Mercury. This is really, again, another layer of how are you building the house of your thoughts that are then creating the experience that you're having in the 3D world. I really believe that while Pluto is considered a malefic, it's, chaos and trauma and death and rebirth, I believe that Pluto is really a deep psychological planet that's asking you to dig into the truth of what you want, the truth of how you want to commingle with others. And having this 28th degree, which reduces down to a 10, here we're seeing another series of one energies. Really, my meditations, my communing with spirit and talking to them about the dynamics that have been going on in the world are really, they've been showing me more and more that the age of Aquarius is where the human realizes that it is a spiritual entity inhabiting a physical experience. And then we will start to hone our thoughts and we will become almost what appears to be magical in the way we can manifest. So here, as Pluto is breaking down the old structures and Mercury is coming in off of a retrograde, this conversation is extremely frank and very intense about how you're thinking and if your thoughts are aligned to where you want to go in this lifetime. Again, Capricorn is your 8th house, so we're seeing transformation being offered here. We also see Pluto, the natural ruler of the 8th house. On the 11th, your ruling planet Mercury will move into Aquarius. That's your 9th house. So everything that's come up this first week and a half or 10 days, 11 days of February will start to get coagulated. It'll start to gel. This idea when Mercury enters Aquarius, I believe you're going to start to anchor in some new beliefs about the possibilities of your life. You may not actually see physical evidence of them just yet, but on an intuitive level, on a soul level, you will feel the shift. On the 15th of February, we will see Venus at 24 degrees, making an exact conjunction to Neptune at 24 degrees in Pisces in your 10th house. This is, again, we're kind of visiting the idea of the most visible house in the zodiac, the house of the public eye, the house of your career. And here, with it being Pisces, it's giving you an opportunity to really assess whether or not you're feeling valued, whether you're feeling a sense of growing, a sense of expansion. And I say that because it's making a square to the moon at 25 degrees Sagittarius in your 7th house. So I feel as if this is going to, again, this month of February for Gemini feels as if there is a lot of reflection about how your everyday life, how your career, your work life, the relationships within that, how you are perceived. And I feel like the square to Sagittarius is kind of almost a yearning for a new experience, a yearning to go into a partnership like you've never been before. We have to remember that we get to remember that the 7th house is not exclusively about marriage in an intimate way, but about a contractual partnership. And oftentimes those can be professional partnerships. And it doesn't necessarily mean the partnership is even. So I think that this is what is going to come up on the table for you. I think you might be willing at this point to remove any illusions that you've had, any sort of intuitive knowings of patterned behaviors of your employers or of your career in general, and be more willing to go into an energy of awareness to start to support a shift in that dynamic. On the 18th of February, the sun will move into Pisces. So here again, we're seeing a lot of activity in your 10th house of career. And I can't help but feel like the experiences that you had in 2022 and even 2021, as we experience global shifts in how we roll as humans, I feel like this has all been teeing Gemini up to start to assess things in your career sector, and if they are actually aligned to your own evolution and the things that you want to birth and experience. So I will be doing a separate video on the new moon in Pisces, as this is, again, we're seeing a series of new moons at the 1 degree, the 2 degree, and the 0 degree. This Piscean one will be at the 1st degree, and then the Aries new moon will be at the critical 0 degree on the world axis. So again, we are going through a period of time of excavating old patterns of thought, old patterns of speech, meaning how we talk about our lives, what we talk about, and what we absorb within the media, and if that is aligned to what we want to experience as we move forward in this life journey. On the 20th of February, Venus will move into Aries. And, you know, I think when Venus is in Aries, this is when she gets really feisty, and she's sort of full of passion and a little bit more willing to go her own way to experience her passions. So I think this is going to be fun, because by the 25th, Venus will be at 7 degrees, starting a real close conjunction with Jupiter and Chiron. Jupiter, again, is expansive. It brings good luck. It brings wealth. And Chiron represents the wound that is transformed into the gift as we are willing to be brave in our examination of that wound. And in Aries, it's a wound of self. It's a wound of how I project myself out into the world. So here we're seeing Venus, Jupiter, and Chiron in your 11th house of networks, of your hopes and dreams, of, you know, innovative thought. The 11th house is literally rocket science and technology and innovation and the mass consciousness, the worldwide web at large. So I think what's going to end up happening is, as this conjunction takes place, you're going to be really thinking about how you can assert yourself in an individual way that is aligned to what you believe, not only what you have believed historically, but also taking the parts of that history that have worked for you and integrating them into the evolved version of who you have become, and thereby really allowing you to feel your sense of self-worth and ability to make money more tangibly and more rooted. By the time we get to the last day of the month, the 28th, Mercury, again, your ruling planet, will be at 27 degrees Aquarius, making a conjunction to Saturn at 29 degrees Aquarius in your ninth house. So I think that with Saturn being at the anaretic degree, where we are mastering the dynamics of Aquarius, Saturn being the co-ruler of Aquarius and the ancient ruler of Aquarius, has always landed on me in such a way where Saturn is not really invested in the path I choose as much as Saturn demands, requires, and will hold my feet to the fire to stick to what it is that I am endeavoring. And here, what I see is liberating myself from the monkey mind, liberating myself from old ideas and versions of myself that didn't actually support the truth of who I am, didn't support enough laughter and love and fun in my life. Mercury also rules the 6th house of Virgo, which is where we see our employment. And we see the idea of being tethered to our employment in a way that doesn't necessarily always serve a higher vibration. It can come through as a duty. In previous ages, the 6th house represented slavery. And so here, sometimes we find ourselves enslaved to our work dynamic, and because we have bills to pay, and we don't give ourselves permission to think that we can expand beyond that. Now, I could go into the idea that Mercury also represents your health and other it's your health, your work, and your pets. But here, because of the activity in your 10th house of Pisces, I really think that this is liberating you from some beliefs that have not served you, or if they did serve you, they have expired. And now you get to liberate and be more electric, be more, when I say electric, I feel like I'm excited. I feel like I'm like, you know what? I have a new version of myself, and I'm so excited about starting to birth that. And where I'm starting as a Gemini, rising moon, sun, and stelliums is here in my thoughts. Why not me? Why not now? And start to really kind of get myself in an excited energy. And I also want to offer you this, because if you are Gemini, considering changing your job or changing your career, and you're not quite ready to launch, then allowing yourself the privilege of sort of a Gemini and a dual role. So you're starting to research and build this new part of yourself while you allow the more stable yet stale position that you have in your work environment to support that idea. If for some reason you love your job, then this is just about allowing you to expand and to connect through your thoughts, through your emotional body that you now have earned, and you are standing in a position where you have done the work. You have been like Saturn. You have persevered beyond your own comfort. And now it's about inviting in the reward. And for some reason with Gemini, the reward does not feel like it's money. It feels like it's peace of mind. It feels as if I've come somewhere in a reconciliation, and I'm not judging a previous incarnation of myself. I'm not judging a previous thought pattern. I'm simply using it as a tool to identify when I'm in an energy that I don't particularly think is moving me where I want to go. This last day of February, Mercury is at the 27th degree, which reduces down to a 9. And the 9 is the culmination of a cycle. And this is happening in your 9th house. So I really believe that you're going to take the higher vibrations of Saturn and build new thought bubbles new awareness of your thoughts and awareness of your words. Let me give you an example, which I tend to do this to my clients, and when they're telling me things. Oftentimes someone will say, well, I need to do this. I should do that. And I sort of stopped them and I said, need is an obligatory energy. It's very heavy. It's very Saturnian. Get to is an opportunity and has a much lighter vibration, more mercurial. It's not anchored, but it's willing to move and zip around. So I think that this month will end up in a place where you have assessed and evaluated and reviewed, and now you're willing to take brave, courageous, mental action to harness your thoughts in a way that serve your future versus tether you to a story that is no longer comfortable or enjoyable. And the great news about this particular month of February is all the planets are moving forward at this point. We won't have a retrograde again until Pluto retrogrades in, I believe it's May. And we will also see Pluto entering Aquarius. And this is where we're going to see a real opportunity to be liberated. So I'll be doing a video on that when we get closer to it. But as Pluto is creeping that direction, moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, and now we have this dynamic of Saturn being at the end of Aquarius, mastering the thoughts, and Mercury being a willing participant, there's a real opportunity for liberation. And I don't think it's like liberating myself from a situation, but liberating myself from a train of thought that, again, enslaves and tethers me to something that I don't find quite as tasteful as I would like. Okay, well, that's it for February 2023. My name is Teri Hunter. If you'd like to book a reading with me, I am available. My information is below. Email me and I'll give you all the rates and all that kind of thing. And please join me on Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific time live, where we look at the transits for the week ahead, and the angels give us advice for traversing those transits to their highest vibration. And it's very exciting. So thank you so much, Gemini. I'll be back in March with your next monthly. Peace out, everybody.